Hey, welcome to
Docere Dialogue,
a platform that unites industry leaders
come together and exchange ideas, innovation, and insights.
shaping the future of healthcare marketing.
Nirmal, how are you?
Julius, doing well. How about yourself?
Good. You enjoying the show so far?
Fantastic.
Why don't we start with quick introductions? Tell the folks who you are, your role, and the company, and then we'll go from there.
Fantastic. My name is Nirmal Vemanna, Principal Product Specialist for our Healthcare and Life Sciences vertical at Tealium. Tealium is a real-time data orchestration, data collection, data activation company. The CDP company, essentially. That stands for Customer Data Platform. But I started with the definition rather than the fancy acronym.
Yeah.
So people have a better understanding of what PDC does.
Got it.
My background, I come from the pharma industry. I was in consulting, mainly in life sciences. I consulted for Merck,
Okay.
IQVIA for GSK, for Pfizer in my previous life.
So you made me think of a question as you start thinking about kind of like your open ecosystem, right? So having an open and agnostic approach is very close to home when we think about their care. And knowing that, we are a partner as well, and we're one of your integrated partners, what is the kind of thought process around making sure that you continue to stay open and agnostic, right? Why is that beneficial? And why should folks embrace that?
I would say it's all about being able to experiment and decide what works best for your organization and your strategy.
Got it?
It doesn't matter what your competitor is using.
Right.
If a technology is working for you,
Right.
like in the case of Docere, trigger-based targeting in a point-of-care setting, that's really powerful.
Yep.
Right, they should be thinking about that, even though they may have another vendor in mind coming into conversations, but keeping an open mind about what any given vendor can really do for their organization and for their brand strategy is the true power of being open and being agnostic.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we try to evangelize. Again, if a customer wants to work with a specific tech, we can help them with that. But there are certain partners we, work better with than others, right? So there are certain partners that we complement and they complement us better than other technologies. Like we integrate with our frenemies, but that's very different than working with a company like Docere, where, there was a clear division of, you're very good at what you do and we're very good at what we do.
Right.
So like when we join hands, that synergy is it's crackling, is pretty powerful.
There's complementary value there, right? Right. It's complementary offerings that we can go strong out in market. Something very, very kind of clear and easy, right?
Indeed.
So as we think about when we look at the CDP landscape, when we look at this, open ecosystem of partners, many different integrations, obviously there are some that are a bit more kind of like complementary than others. But again, working and being open with everyone. When I say data interoperability, that word, what does that mean from a CDP standpoint?
Sure, I would say data interoperability, I would define that from a customer's point of view.
Okay.
To the customer, they don't care how complicated, but the behind the scenes workings are.
Oh, they don't know.
They don't
care.
They don't know how hard it is, and even if they do know, they don't care.
Yeah.
To them, they're paying.
And they shouldn't. They don't need to. They don't need to.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
The idea is hiding all of that complexity behind the scenes.
Right.
All they see is something that doesn't require much care then.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So I see this audience in Docere or another DSP, whatever they have in mind.
Right.
I'm seeing those same audiences show up in Tealium in real time. Like, how did that magic happen? Or everything has to be seamless. I'm pretty sure Steve Jobs would agree with you here.
Yeah.
Right now. I think everything has to be things that look so simple can have so much complexity behind them. Of course, that doesn't matter. It's the simplicity. That's all that matters. And that's how I would define.
So how has Tealium really kind of like over the years really kind of perfected this, right? Like talk to me a little bit about the progression of the business. It's like, how have you all kind of continued not only to keep up with the regulations, but also make it super easy and simple for, mutual customers that we may have?
Absolutely. So it's a matter of, it's also challenging because technology evolves. As you build more technologies, they don't necessarily gel well together.
Right.
At the same time, future-proofing things as much as possible. I mean, that's pretty popular. We started as a tag management solution. Tags are, or you can call it a pixel.
I remember you.
Live an invisible piece of
Yeah.
tracking user actions on websites. So we started as that so that customers don't have to custom code every single pixel they're trying to deploy. And then before we knew, all of a sudden, client-side tracking became complex. We saw the potential in being able to persist that data rather than it simply being stored on the client side. You're storing things in cookies, they disappear once the cookies expire. But wouldn't it be nice to persist that data, build a 360 on the server side where it doesn't go away? That way you can continue to engage that customer, that you can remember who they are, even after 6 years of they're coming to your site for the first time. And all of a sudden, when they log in with their email address, you know exactly who they are.
I'm going to switch gears a bit. Knowing that Doceree is hyper-focused and specifically focused on HCPs, as we think about data coming into the CDP today, and the CDP's value with potentially maybe use cases of marrying one piece of data set with another to potentially create an audience. In our use case, it might be an HCP audience. What have you seen are successful tactics, approaches that marketers have taken to identify maybe the right HCPs using Tealium?
Yeah. Essentially, CDP, especially Tealium, exists because we're all about trying to marry disparate data sources and build that unified view of an HCP.
Got it.
Or even a patient, but for the purpose of this conversation, let's focus on HCP. Just think about all of the investments they've made, from a channel standpoint. When I say they, the pharma brands, that they've made to engage HCPs, to engage KOLs, to target customers, essentially, who will be writing these prescriptions, who will be consuming scientific evidence. You can think of, third-party data assets, like it could be IQVIA, it could be POS, it could be something else. It could be all of the first-party brand sites, first-party medical portals they've built, the CRM solutions, the MDM solutions, all of the data they've been buying and building over the years that's sitting in a data warehouse somewhere. Without something like a CDP, these data will remain in their respective silos.
When we look at building these segments, or maybe even segment creations inside Tealium today, does Tealium, by form of AI or anything like that, incorporate maybe recommendations or ways to kind of look at data? Or is it just completely dependent on kind of whatever the customer brings and that's it? Or do you offer also like your own insight that kind of help to enrich that even further? Can you talk a little bit about
that? Is something, absolutely, makes sense. No, that is something we're exploring, but right now, our strong suit is being the very intelligent plumbing system.
Got it.
Making sure you have all of the dials and valves to make sure your data that you are sharing with your AI engine, whether you're building it on your own or some company where this is all they do, but our customer brand teams want to use them. We want to make sure the data they have is complete. There could be, again, your AI insights are only as good as the data you supply. So right now, our main focus is to make sure the insights that they're generating is done off of like a unified full set of data.
Got it.
Having said that, there are certain, AI use cases such as, especially for, regulatory sensitive customers, like PII detection. Oh, data looks like sensitive. Are you sure you want to share it? So those are the use cases we're exploring right now. We're also simultaneously exploring intelligent segmentation. But typically, customers have a very strong point of view on where they want to do it. They, again, goes back to the best of breed tech.
So we're approaching the end of our time here. I wanted to leave with one question for you that I'm asking all participants here. So it's a blanket question.
Sure.
If you could have one superpower to make HCP engagement more impactful tomorrow, what would that be and why?
I would say I would have brand teams be more assertive and not let privacy and compliance rule the show all the time.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I think both teams have their purpose, The privacy and compliance teams they're there to make sure everything is compliant, there are no regulations being violated. At the same time, there is such a thing as being a bit too risk averse.
Of course.
So if all you're thinking about, when I say you, brand teams, if all you're thinking about is things you can't do, you're not focusing on things you can do. So have a vision and have your privacy compliance team push back rather than letting them dictate the strategy. I mean, Granted, not all therapy areas are the same.
Of course.
Some are way more sensitive than others.
Yep.
So I can understand where the risk aversion comes from.
Yep.
But without you being able to promote to HCPs, without you being able to sell the medication, sell the product, and improve health outcomes, you will not have a job, and nor will the regulatory compliance folks that are preventing you from activating the strategy.
Right.
So I think be risk averse, but not too risk averse, but have a vision and be a bit bolder. Doesn't go for all brand teams, because I've been hearing some amazing speakers and some amazing brand leaders. But this is something I'm seeing more and more. There was a lot of risk aversion. I would say maybe a bit too much.
Got it. Got it. That's a great observation. And no risk, no reward, right? Because sometimes you got to bring up with reason, right? Calculated risk, right? Yeah. But we all got to inch out of our box, right? And not be so kind of like, strict. Well, this was a great conversation. I appreciate the time, Nirmal.
Absolutely.
As always, it's always great to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Spend some time. And thanks for joining in our podcast event.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much.